Okay, hello and welcome back. Today I have this lovely Akai sampler and I'm having a problem with the disk drive, but the disk drive does not work when I first turn on the sampler. I put the disk drive in, I hit the disk load, enter. Disk is unprepared, you must format it first. Well, I know that the disk works and that it's already formatted. I've already put some drum track samples on there. So I want to remove the disk drive and see if there's any mechanical rejuvenation and cleaning that I can do to the disk drive to bring the disk drive back to life. First, I want to unplug the sampler, and then I will need to take out on each side these 4 screws, those 2 screws, and then around back there is another screw right there, and then we'll take out this outer case shell. Now on the underside, it looks like I will have to take out 4, possibly 5 or 6 screws, I don't know yet. But once I take those out, the floppy drive should be loose. So I'll have to do that from underneath. Now that I got the disk drive loose with the 4 screws from underneath, I can look from the top and I can see the power supply with the large heatsink is in the way. So what I'll need to do on that is to remove these 4 screws and loosen the power supply and pull it up out of the way so I can access those connectors on the disk drive and pull the disk drive out. Now that we have the disk drive out, we need to remove this top dust cover. To do so, there's a little tab here and a little tab there. Just pull that up with your fingernail gently. You don't want to bend it. And then on that side, hello, there we go. Gently pull up and off. And that will expose these mechanical workings of your disk drive. Okay, let's look at the different parts of the disk drive. We have this stepper motor here and then a shaft there which will move the read-write head up and down. That's your read-write head. When you put the disk in, this thing closes down and that's what actually reads the disk. So what we need to do is the shaft and the lubricant on there is probably getting pretty dirty and needs to be cleaned and re-lubricated. So we need to gently push the read-write head up to that position, and now we can clearly see this is like a screw actually that the stepper motor turns and then pushes the read-write head up and down on that shaft over here. So we need to clean that shaft and that screw, and then we can apply some new lubricant to that. Okay, to clean the shaft and the screw, I'm not going to spray anything in this area. Instead, I'm going to apply it to the end of a cotton swab, and I'm going to apply that in this direction so that I don't leave any of the cotton swab fibers behind. This is normally a no-no, but I'm going to inspect this real close with the magnifier headset and make sure I didn't leave any little fibers behind. So I'm dipping my swab in denatured alcohol, but I'm also going to wring it out by flicking my wrist a few times so that I don't just deposit any loose denatured alcohol in there. And then I'm just going to gently swab the top and bottom of that little screw there. And that screw is supposed to turn freely when that stepper motor turns on. So okay, get underneath there a bit. Okay. Now there's still a portion of those at the top which I didn't reach. So what I need to do is slide the right head back down very gently. You can break stuff in here when you're doing this. Okay. Well, I've exposed it enough on that end. I'm not going to be able to get to that part of the shaft in that area. So I'm just going to touch that one there. And now I've got my magnifier headset and I'm looking in there. And I don't see any fibers that I left behind. So that's good. I'm going to slide that back into place. And I can tell now already that this thing is sliding a little more freer. Okay, the silicone that I'm using is a heavy duty silicone. I got it from Walmart. Again, I am not going to spray this directly into the disk drive. That's a big no-no. Instead, I'm going to apply it to the tip, the unused tip of my Q-tip. And off camera, I'm going to spray a little bit on there using the little straw. I'm going to spray that on there. And then similarly, I'm going to wring it out. I'm just wiping it on gently. And this piece down here, I don't want to get that silicone on anything else but that little shaft. Ooh, there we go. That's sliding really well now. I'm going to hit it again. This stuff kind of evaporates a bit too. I'm not trying to wipe off the silicone. I'm just gently applying a thin film of it on there. That seems to be sliding pretty well now. Now I'm going to take some of my denatured alcohol and put it on the swab. I'm going to flick it out. I'm going to lift this up and clean the heads. Now, just in case there's anything gunked up inside the little stepper motor here, sometimes you can loosen it up. Let's give it a light tap. Okay. There we go. I think that should be satisfactory. So what I'll do is I'll put everything back together, starting with this here dust cover. If you want to, while you have all this open, you can spray it out with compressed air. This had the dust cover on there. The dust cover is pretty bad, so I might clean that before I pop it back in there. But put everything back together. Okay, before we put the cover back on, let's see how the disc is working. Cool. So there it is. It loaded the disc properly the first time around. Now I can just put the cover back on and it should be good. Thank you for watching.